Good afternoon, everyone. Just wanted to get in touch with you today and do a little video, a bit more topical. We did the last kind of episode of something we did before the split announcement was we're looking at players that could be making Premier League upgrades. Okay, so what do we mean by that? Players who are currently in the Premier League doing pretty well, who are very likely to upgrade, get into a better team, get into a squad that might be in Europe, they're not maybe in Europe now, become a more high profile player, etc, etc. Okay, so we did part 1 last week, you can go and check that out. Some good topics, some good picks on that. And we're looking at an R3 today. Okay guys, so like with these videos guys, I've just kind of went through and did screenshots, and I'm just going to show you as a kind of slideshowy type thing. But I always like to start off by having a look at the footy. And again, it's grown and grown and grown, and we're up another 716 points today, which is absolutely incredible. There's no stopping this. You know, for the date we're on, it's the 21st of March. By the time we get to, you know, payday at the end of the month for most people, so when we always get a big rise. It's not unimaginable we could hit 75,000 on the index cap on the footy between then and now. Okay, so we'll just dive right into this, guys. Okay, so the first player we've got, somebody we spoke about in the past regarding the Rodgers videos that we did when he got announced as Leicester manager, and that's our man Youri Tielemans. Okay, now I went and bought some of them. I had to do the dirty on them. Again, there's some videos explaining what that means and how all that happened. You can go back and check that out. Easy enough. But the thing with Tielemans and Leicester and everything as well is Rodgers coming into Leicester is really exciting for a lot of different things around Football Index. You expect the players to perhaps play a little bit better, more attacking football. You expect them then to be linked with other teams while they transfer out. Will Leicester do better next season? Is holding somebody there now who's at a moderate price good for next year? All that type of stuff. Ben Chilwell, Maddison, Barnes, you know, these guys are all good picks. I also would say Iheanacho is worth a little shout if you know anything about Rodgers. He likes to bring folk out who have maybe had a tough time, you know. But anyway, I digress. But the thing about it, right, is Rodgers has picked up the job at Leicester. He's obviously had some major assurances that number 1, he's going to get money, and number 2, I suspect he's got a good bit of sway on who is going to be allowed to leave the club. Okay, so some of the transfer links with guys like Chilwell and whatever as well, I'm not totally confident that they'll actually transpire into an actual transfer. I'm quite confident that Rodgers is probably going to keep his hand on anyone who he wants to. I don't think the club need to sell. I don't think the guy's poor. I don't think Leicester are struggling financially. And I don't think he wants to sell young, exciting players. That's who he wants to be working with. So Tielemans, he's not actually a Leicester player. He's on loan. And as we discussed in the Rodgers videos, there's no guarantee buy option from Leicester. So this guy's sitting in a great position now. Rodgers has played him every game since he's been in charge as manager, and he's done pretty well, as you'll see in the slides. Okay, but this guy's obviously putting himself right in the shop window. He's like, well, I play for Leicester, I'm on loan. If they want to sign me, they're the best club that comes in, then great. And if somebody bigger comes in, then he's put himself right in the shop window. He's proven himself in the division, and Spurs were linked with him in January, and even before Monaco signed him from Anderlecht, he was linked to Man City all the way back then. You know, so the guy is he's a bit of a wonder kid. You know, he's been around. You know, a lot of you guys who are like me, who are really avid football fans, you will know his name before he even showed up at Leicester, or even before he showed up at Monaco. You don't know who he was. But for the age of the guy and, you know, the career he's had behind him, he's a very good prospect. Currently sitting at £2.55. I was excited to pick him up when he was £2.65 when Rodgers first came in. So he's also had a little bit of limelight taken away from him, just with the way the market's moved and whatever as well. He might still drop in a couple of pence, which is even better. But he's sitting at a nice price now. So what we see here is his 1 year progression, which is nice, and then we dive into the month. So as you can see, the peaks and trough of match days have been really kind to him. So even on that little lull he's on the now, if he drops in our cup a little bit, let's see he goes back down that 245 mark. By the time we get back into match days, he's got a great match day ceiling there. Let's even just call it 265 where I bought him, or even 270. So there's a great margin for you there in the short term if you're not wanting to hold. But this guy is somebody who you could easily, comfortably, if you catch him at the right downward point, you could very safely hold him all the way through summer, and you'll probably come out the other end of it with a nice chunk of profit. He's good for goals, he's good for assists. If we look at him on whoscored.com, 20 games for Monaco, bearing in mind Monaco when he left was bottom 3, rank rotten, doing absolutely terrible, with Jardim and then Henry, and then the Jardim came back in, Tielemans was already away out on loan. Okay, 20 games from defensive midfielder or centre mid, 5 goals, 1 assist, over 2 tackles a game, close to 2 shots a game, and close to 1 dribble per match. So even in a team who's struggling, the guy's still standing up and being counted for and going, do you know what, even though the team is struggling, I'm going to do my best to carry us forward. And that won't be wasted on teams, you know, that, like we said in the past, when making money off relegation, just because a team is doing poor, if there's players still performing, that does not go unnoticed by scouts and by managers, you know. We then look at the Premier League, 6 starts, 1 goal, 2 assists, which is nice. Over 2.5 shots a game. The tackles are nice, the dribbles are a bit lower than it was in the French League, but again, under Rodgers, he'll be probably instructed to pass a lot more, and the Premier League is a tougher league to carry and dribble with in midfield. You can just get less time on the ball, which is a matter of fact. But with, you know, the limited game time he's had, you know, 6 starts, 1 goal and 2 assists, that's a great return for a centre midfielder. At that kind of £2.50 mark, with everything else around him that we've just spoke about. Likely to have a transfer link or two. Plays for Belgium, so again, even in international breaks, if he makes a good appearance for Belgium, traders like me and you will notice that and think ahead to the summer and beyond. Okay, so yeah, that's always good to see. If you look at his form as well, when Leicester are at home, this is what struck me. He seems to play a little bit better. You know, all the opposition here are of a similar calibre. Fulham maybe being the exception, but Palace, Brighton, Watford, Burnley, all kind of similar, and he's got a very consistent kind of rating. But when Leicester are at home, and when you're looking at this guy, you might want to look at his fixtures for yourself and just see how they're doing for home games, if they get more or less coming up. But the guy seems to do very well at home. Rodgers' first game was Watford away, so you can even see since Rodgers has came in, he's basically had 3 starts. He's played every game for Rodgers. He's made an assist, he's made a goal, and his average rating across the 3 of them is probably quite close to 7, you know, which is not very. His average overall for Leicester is like 6.9, 6.8 or something like that. But since Rodgers just came in, he's got a nice average there. The next player is Declan Rice. I cannot tell you anything about this guy you're not aware of already. Okay, but the interesting thing about Declan Rice at the moment is he's in the England squad. If you look at him for the last month, he's had a big boost there when he's also decided to align himself with England and all that type of stuff as well. And then that line just after the big peak, it looks like, oh, he's kind of levelled out. But when we dive right into it in the last 7 days, there's a great low there of 540 to 5, you know, pretty much let's just call it 550. You know, so if the market moves away from him, you can get a nice 5 pence a swing on this guy. Now, you need to bear in mind, see, as soon as he plays for England, he is going to be in every newspaper, every website, every blog. It's going to be chatting about Declan Rice's debut for England, regardless of how it goes. And what you need to worry about with some of these players is that the price you're tracking them on doesn't come back. I seen a tweet last night or the night before, and I put a wee love heart thing on Twitter about it, and it was a guy saying, I've just bought some Sancho and Hudson-Odoi, I wish I did it months ago. And me and you guys, we all see the same players always take your eye when they're rising. Declan Rice, Sancho, Hudson-Odoi, we know everything about them that we all need to know. You know, I'm not going to tell you something about Declan Rice you're not aware of already. But sometimes you just need to bite the bullet and go, do you know what, I've been dancing about this for so long, it's never, am I going to get on this guy, am or not? And before he takes a cap at 5.45, it might be a good time. Only time will tell, guys, but I'm just telling you, when you take that into consideration, he's going to get capped for England, he's going to get a massive media attention around him, he's already had a media circus around him. Roll into the summer, or even, you know, after the international break, he's going to be linked to Tom, Dick and Harry. Every top club in England is going to be linked with him. Tottenham, Man United, Man City. Don't think Arsenal or Chelsea really will, to be honest with you, but between the 3 of those clubs that I've already mentioned, there's plenty of media buzz to be had. You know, between the 3 of them alone, never mind anything else. We look at whoscored.com, and West Ham under Pellegrini have been a really flaky team, but Pellegrini always brings attacking football. It's one thing we all know about him, and he's been West Ham's best midfielder. He's also played at centre half, obviously, we know that. And just at underneath 7 for a team like West Ham, who are flirting with being mid-table. They had a great start to the season, kind of dipped away, now they're kind of hot and cold. A decent enough average rating. So he started 28 games, which is mental in the league this year. 2 goals. Tackles per game is a standout. 3. Shots per game is a bit low. Dribbles per game is a bit low. But again, I can't tell you anything about him you don't know already. And that brings us on to our last one, which is Ruben Neves. Now, the good thing about Ruben Neves now is he's kind of been out the spotlight recently, just with the share split and all the England stuff that's been going on with obviously guys like Declan Rice that we just spoke about. And the reason I've showed you the 1 year graph here is bearing in mind a lot of that. So the very beginning of that graph is the beginning of March. So that's when Neves is scoring wonder goals. He's scoring from 40 yards out, and oh, great, Scotland just get beat 3-0, lovely. The guy's got media presence about him because of the goals he scored and how well he did in the Championship. So again, when he does well again, what you find with journalists is they're happy to write about these people if they've done it before, you know. So the guy has a bit of media attention around him already, which is cool. We're drilled down into 3 months, and you can see that it can be a bit flaky. He's dropped down to £2.90 in the last 3 months. What's that, the beginning of January? And he's maybe been linked by a transfer or something. He's popped right the way up, and he's kind of looks like they are consistently floated between 330 and 340, okay? But we drill right in, and in the last month he's had a great little dip down there to 226 or something like that in the last month, and then he started to climb up and make a bit of a recovery. But he's still 345, guys, and for somebody who is, if he leaves Wolves, because let's be honest, Wolves have got a great project on the go there now. They've got great links to Mendes, what's the super agent called? So Wolves are not going to just let players walk out the door. It will be with a fight, and it'll be for a big sum. So if Neves, whoever he leaves for, it could be a Premier League upgrade like we're talking about in the video. Man City, Man United mainly are the clubs that you look at he might transfer to. But if he leaves England, he's only going to go to a top team. Because of the pedigree he left at Porto, and then the kind of reputation he's earned in England. You know, he's not going to leave Wolves and go play for I don't know, Villarreal or Valencia, or, you know, or something like that. He's not going to go back and play for Porto. If he leaves, he's going to go play for Juventus, he's going to go play for Real Madrid, he's going to play for Man United, he's going to play for Man City, he's going to play for Bayern Munich, he's going to play for a big club when he leaves, you know, because Wolves are in a great position now. He might stay at Wolves. They've got an FA Cup run to come to, so again, this guy, if he scores a great goal in the semi-final or the final, he's going to have great media buzz about him and get transfer links again. So at 345, he's at a really good price now. Like I always say, guys, could he drop a little bit more? Of course he could, but the price he's sitting at now, considering the kind of levels he's been floating about recently, it's quite a safe position to buy at. I wouldn't be too worried about it. But again, he's got great scope for growth. Post-split, he's going to be £1.15. Okay, think about that. Would you buy Neves at £1.15 a share? I suspect a lot of people would. We look at his stats. Okay, so his first season in the Premier League, age of 22, 26 starts, 3 goals, 2 assists, shots per game, tackles per game, both 2-2-2, which is lovely, and dribbles is really low. Now, one thing you need to bear in mind with his stats, right, is Wolves play 3-4-3, and he's playing centre mid with João Moutinho, who's not notably mobile. Okay, so you're not seeing the best out of him. In some, you know, he might move to another team and you'll see more out of him. Okay, but even at that, he's also getting great stats in terms of shots and tackles. And one thing I'm really upset with WhoScored.com is they don't really tell you passes, which is very important for scoring points on a match day. But the guy's got great potential in him, as we all know. And that's the end of the video, guys. Okay, Premier League Upgrades episode 2. If you've enjoyed the video, please subscribe, like, share, retweet, all that good stuff, guys. Stay out of trouble, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.